Hi, Gregg Perry, the historic preservationist. This episode, we're going to talk what makes this object great, as we're going to try to do. Um, we're going to talk about a lap desk. You see a lot of lap desks, very plain, mahogany, walnut, depending on the style, the year, such as like Bible boxes even. Um, but this is exceptional. This is about 1710. This is a George the First, 1710, 1720, George the First, and in the chinoiserie style. So a lot of this raising here was missing. There was very little on the lid that could be seen, but using infrared photography and blacklight, we were able to redraw the lost, uh, you know, the lost trees, the fence, the pagoda, the figurines, everything. So that was all, most of it captured by infrared photography. Um, what was still there in fairly good order was on the front of the bottom drawer. So we have a drawer, we have a basic desk. You would sit in bed, you would sit in an easy chair in front of the fire or wherever, but you would carry this around and you would do your work at the end of the day, your business. But this person really, this was going downtown to have a chinoiserie in black. Uh, so a lot of this was done with pen or a brush with only one, two, or three bristles. So very minutely under magnification to do the restoration to put this back on. And you have your lopers that hold your lid up. But for most of the lid, it was missing. We couldn't see it. And you had to bring it back to the surface. And that took quite a bit of work, and on the sides and on the top. I'm going to stand up in a bit here and show you the top. So inside, on the interior of the lid, all this was here because this was closed up most of its life. And we have four drawers on the inside. And again, uh, you have minute, very, very small decoration here. Again, I actually used, in the studio, we used a pen with gold powders. Uh, Also, that brushes with, I cut most of the bristles off for brushes, something with one or two. And these are all finely dovetailed drawers. Again, these are all out of oak, secondary wood, George the First, everything's oak. The front carcass piece is oak also. A lot of filling. You can tell this is oak by the way the raking light is catching the side of the drawer front here. You can see the cellular structure, so you know it's oak. And you would have, obviously, you would have kept your correspondent envelope type things here, pens and pencils and things like that. So, and I still have to work on the lock. The lock is was broken. I'm going to create a new key for that. I'm going to turn it so we can see the side. And there was just a hint of red in a couple of the leaves, and that was all. And this is all raised with gesso. That was all missing, but you could see where the gold had impregnated into the urishi lacquer. So what did I use? We I used a gold powder, gold leaf, crinkled it up, mixed it in with urishi lacquer, and it's very dangerous stuff that you can. It's from the sumac tree. If you get that, and if you have any allergy to it, your whole body within a couple hours could be consumed with poison. So you have to be very careful. But I can buy today from Europe, from Germany, from Dick. Dick sells this in a tube, and when you put it on, it takes the cure time. It's extensive. They have dryers in this today, but back then it could take 3, 4, 5, 6 months to dry the rushi lacquer. So adding the gold to it, put that on over the gesso. You would have to rebuild your leaves up. Any missing parts that were proud of the surface, you'd build up. You model it. Take a look at this side. Not much different. It is different, but so we have a nice pagoda on this side where we had foliage on the other, and we have a little bit of red here. So a really, really cute piece. And let's take a look at Look at the top. I'm going to tilt it this way because otherwise everything's going to fall out. So again, pagoda, vinage, chrysanthemums here, all this very, very fine stuff. And a lot of this I was using actually a quill pen. I dip into the urishi lacquer, which I made into more of a liquid with the gold dust, and one little fence slat at a time under magnification. So very, very, very difficult. But anyway, nevertheless, just a gorgeous piece, and you have this blocked effect on the front, which is really cool. Um, and the I must admit that I have to make a key for this. This drawer is locked, so did the restoration on the outside without opening this door. So I have about 8,000 keys. Going to start trying some. If not, I'm going to start cutting a key and modeling a key to get this open when I work on this lock up here for restoration. So, uh, but anyway, a real favorite. And then in the end, when all this decoration is put on there, you come back with a clear coat of urishi lacquer. It goes on clear in about 50 years, 75 years, or more, depending on the tree, depending on the thickness. The urishi lacquer is going to go black. Slowly, slowly, it'll go black right over the gold. The only way to restore this once it goes black, or what happens is it goes black and it starts to tighten and dry out, and it'll actually start cracking all these gessoed surfaces, no matter how tiny they are. The leaves, the flowers, the gentleman here, the gentleman here. It'll start cracking that, and these will fall to the floor, and then you'll have all these voids, and that's how I got this desk with all these voids that had to be remodeled, resculpted, built up over surface, and then gilded. And so I don't think they ever imagined what the lacquer would do because they put it on clear. It's just a tree sap found in Japan and China. And there were literally thousands and thousands and thousands of people that died, artists died in the application of this type of lacquer work. And for years, they had no idea what was going on. But as soon as you touch this on your skin, you're going to break out with poison. So uh, check us out on a podcast, Gregg Perry, the Historic Preservationist, on Spotify and on Apple. And we'll catch you on the next episode. But this is what makes this object great: is its proportion, its drawer structure, and most important is the decoration that's on there. And using infrared photography, we can mimic and duplicate that in the end. Thanks all for watching.